Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name's Simon, and today I'm absolutely delighted to be sharing with you this Maserati Gransport MC-Victory that's currently on sale at Classic Modern Cars in Newbury. So let's try and learn a bit more about it, and we'll go for a drive a little bit later as well. So the Gransport has its origins in the 1998 coupe designed by Giussaro, then of Ital Design. He'd got a long association with the brand, and he designed the Ghibli, the Bora and the third generation Quattroporte. The total run of the coupe was about 13,400 vehicles, although what we're dealing with here is a far rarer car. Stylist Frank Stevenson was given the job of designing something that looked much more aggressive, and that's how the Gransport evolved. The car on which the MC-Victory we're in here today was actually based. Engine modifications took power up to 400 brake horsepower, and using a Camber Corsa, Italian for race change, so I'm told, gearbox. Basically, it's an electro-hydraulic manual transmission which uses Formula 1 inspired paddles. This actually allowed it to get its power down. Other modifications include different alloy wheels, upgraded suspension and a new front bumper. However, moving this up a notch, this is the Gransport MC-Victory. Now, launched in 2007, it's far rarer than the standard car. It was actually built to honour Maserati's success with the MC12 winning the 2005 FIA Championship. It's got a lot of MC12 features. In fact, things like the bucket seats themselves are something like about £10,000 each. Carbon fibre affairs. Difficult to believe that, isn't it? Globally, just 180 of these cars were built. This example being number 157, and in fact one of just 12 right-hand drive cars in the UK. Visually on the outside, the MC-Victory features blue carbon fibre at the front and rear spoiler, a beautiful enamelled Italian flag recessed into the front wings, and the enlarged front splitter actually generates significantly more downforce at speed, as do the extended side skirts and modifications to improve the car's high-speed stability. The interior carbon fibre is absolutely beautiful, and it's also blue in places to match the exterior. Although unchanged on paper, the engine was in actual fact blueprinted and upgraded using knowledge gained from Maserati's one-make Trofeo race series. And what an engine the F136R is. It's derived from the power unit that powered the Ferrari F430. It uses a cross-plane crankshaft rather than Maranello's flat-plane version, mounted at 90 degrees. It's dry sumped and actually revs right through to about 7,500 revs. Now, just referring to the Camber Corsa gearbox, apparently it didn't come to light at the time, but the gearbox does appear to have been fettled as well, and the actual part number is different to the standard car. The quicker steering rack actually changes the feel of the car as well over the standard car, and certainly improves feedback. So turning to the car that we're going to be driving today, this particular car was finished in fittingly blue Victory as the colour. It's got the Rosso brake calipers, and in actual fact the interior is a beautiful Nero hide, a mix of Alcantara and leather. It also benefits from the £1,645, yeah that's correct, carbon kit option with carbon door sills and trim panels, and also the steering wheel in carbon blue as well. So we're going to go out for a drive in this Maserati Gransport MC-Victory. I've just got used to saying that now, and now I'm going to have to drive it. It's quite an unusual gearbox in this car, the Camber Corsa gearbox, my first time, so hopefully the owner will be gentle with me on this, so we've got to try and get used to it. So let's see how it drives. Second, okay. Left again. So I'm using the paddle gear change at the moment and just trying to get used to it into second. blip, and it's got me up to third already. I have to say that the throttle is super responsive. It's going to take some getting used to changing down whilst watching where I'm going at the same time. Actually, I came through that in second. Probably I'm changing up a bit too frequently at the moment and changing down, but just till I get used to it. We're still in third now. And actually in this mode, I'm told it's a lot more drivable than it is in fully automatic, because really it's not an automatic. It is I think a robotized manual. So probably this is the way to get the best out of it. We'll go back down to first because we've stopped. We're coming to the roundabout. And being careful not to use all of that 401 brake horsepower. Quickly get it up into second. Wow, this really wants to go. Steering's really firm. Love this blue carbon fiber steering. Feels really good in the hand. Really nice to hold. You've really got to keep an eye on the speed with this car, because it just feels as if at every touch of the throttle it really wants to be off. And we're up to fifth. I'm not sure whether fifth's a bit too high because we're only at 40, but the car doesn't seem to have too many issues with it. So I can honestly say this is the first Maserati I've ever driven. So I better not get too used to it, because it could be quite an expensive hobby, I think. On the steering wheel itself, in the centre is a line very much you'd find on a race car, so you can see which way the front wheels are pointing when you've got the car dead centre. That's a nice feature as well. And even the paddle shifts are also this carbon fibre with a blue weave. So we're going to change down to fourth, down, get it right here, down to third, second, and we're going to first because we stood still, just conscious here of the traffic. Actually, once you get used to the paddle gear change, it's okay to use, to be honest with you. I'd got some concerns about using this because I can recall driving these only on very infrequent occasions. We're up to third, up to fourth already. I mean, the limit on this road sadly is just 50, but already we're in the blink of an eye we're up to 50 miles an hour. So we'll bang it into fifth. This is in comfort mode at the moment, so I would say the ride is hard, but it's on the acceptable side of hard still. The steering, this has got the quicker steering rack, as I mentioned in another part of the video, and in actual fact you can feel that, but also the car, to me anyway, doesn't feel nervous, which is one concern driving cars with a much quicker steering rack. Being very conscious here to feather the throttle and not to give it the beans, because first of all, it's not my car, and secondly, it's an awful lot of power for a road car, isn't it? 400 plus brake horsepower. Now this particular car has only got a recorded 42,000 miles on, so you can bet it's not running. As I mentioned elsewhere in the video, it's for sale at Modern Classic Cars in Newbury, so I'll put the link in the description. But whoever buys this car are going to have an absolutely very special car, number 157 of 180 worldwide. I mean, how rare is that? And I think about a dozen in the UK. So the car's now in sport mode, so we'll be able to hear the car possibly blip in on the downshifts. Just still getting used to this gearbox, although I must admit, wow, there is so much power. I'm glad it's not a wet day today. It's just immense. So in second now, we'll just give it a little bit more power. Good Lord. And in the blink of an eye, we're already back up to the legal limit on this road. That's incredible, isn't it? Bucket seats feel incredibly comfortable. I'm not sure what they're like on a long journey, but certainly for me, they fit. The owner tells me on a long journey they're pretty good in actual fact. What I love is the sense of occasion in this car. When you actually get in this car, the combination of carbon fibre, Alcantara, that traditional Maserati, beautifully crafted Maserati clock in the middle, makes you really feel that you're in a really special place. Actually, although it is in sport mode and the ride is a bit harder, it's still not uncomfortably so. I'd probably have to live with this to really establish whether it was for me or not, that particular driving mode. Wow, we just dropped it down a couple of gears and gone for it. And we've got to be careful we don't fly over the car in front at this rate. What I would say, as you would expect with the brakes that I mentioned elsewhere in the video, the brakes are good, and they need to be. Probably at this speed, fifth is about as high as we can get to. 6 feels more like an overdrive type gear for cruising. So forget 16 miles per gallon, who cares? It's lovely. So we're coming to another roundabout here. Let's get it down to second. The owner tells me it will pull away in second, so we're going to give that a try. Object of the exercise is not to stand the car on its back wheels, but let's just try going up this little bit of road here. Wow, you are through the gears in no time. But actually, for the first time I've driven a paddle shift car for any reasonable amount of time, I think it wouldn't take too much getting used to, and I agree, it's probably a far better setting to have the car in than full auto, particularly in this type of car. So we're just on our way back now. We'll just bring the car back to base. Again, can you hear the blip as I'm going down the gearbox? I'm not sure whether the camera picks that up, but in sport mode it actually blips it down. I'm going to pull away in second, as it's been suggested that the car will happily do that, and yes, it will. Oh, somebody just trying to cut me up on the roundabout, but obviously managed to avoid them. Another roundabout here. You've got almost, you need to remember when you're manoeuvring about the paddle gear change. But I think it's just a question of time, to be honest with you. And the brakes are super firm, super responsive, good pedal feel, as you'd expect. We did actually go down to first then. I should have really kept it in second, as it's been suggested. So thanks again for joining me on Lot 76 Cars. I hope you've enjoyed this walk round of the Maserati Gransport MC-Victory. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications so as not to miss the next video. And once again, thanks for watching.